That is so much more efficient than that electric chair. Since I basically build a prison and torture people in any game I play, this one should come naturally. We're going to build a new torture chamber today. Lots of options here. What else is new? Failure conditions. You will be sacked and it will be game over if you let things get too bad. Riots, bankruptcy, too many deaths or escapes, etc. So basically no fun mode. We're going to turn that off. Gangs, definitely. Team Battle Royale coming up. Long story short, it looks like this. The most important one to notice, unlimited funds. How big is large? It's actually pretty big. And it all starts right here. Garbage and deliveries. Good effort so far. I like the enthusiasm. I like how they're all working together so hard to unload the truck, and this guy down here, he's just wandering around doing nothing. Which probably means we need more workers, and given the size of the prison we're about to build, let's go with like a few thousand. The game crashed on me already. This doesn't bode well for my mega prison. Luckily, we hadn't made too much progress yet. I like how they just spawn out of one little guy. I know what you're thinking. 500 workers is probably too many, so here's 1,000. This should be an adequate start. Hopefully one of you actually knows how to build a prison because I don't. We'll start with one basic cell. Hopefully my many idiots are up to the task. That was quick. But of course, what's any prison without electricity and water? And of course, we're going to give this lucky prisoner access to the utility room. That way if anything should go wrong, well, he'll be on the job. So far so good. The game hasn't crashed in about 4 minutes. Stuff sure does take a long time to get built for how many workers we have. Whoops, that's fine. They can have a little gap in between. That should get us going. We got a few cells for whatever prisoners actually show up. There are no canteens accessible by this cell. Prisoners in this cell will have nowhere to eat. Yeah, sorry, didn't realize we were building the 4 seasons. Luckily for us, there is a quick build option for the canteen. Okay, now we have a canteen, but now the canteen needs a kitchen. We need running water, we need food, we make demands, we're prisoners. Speaking of which, do we have any prisoners yet? I can't really tell. That must be where the queen is. Just think of it kind of like an open concept prison. We're going to add a few cells that basically join straight into the kitchen. That way if these workers get hungry, well, they'll have direct access, kind of like a VIP room. This one didn't really work out, so to get into this guy's cell, he's going to have to go through this guy's cell, but that sounds like a prisoner problem. A yard has to be behind a door? Then what's the point of a yard? It's basically a building at that point. Would it be bad to have a prison built on the honor system? I think down attaching to the yard. We're going to make a giant building. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in as space yet. I thought this would be a little bit quicker for how many workers we have. Requires entrance. Did I not install not 1 but 4 doors on the upper end? Oh, I guess I made double walls. Well, that's okay. We'll just install double doors and then life is good again. There we go. Double doors just mean double protection anyway. Oh, right. This one's probably going to require a little bit of juice. Still feel like I'm kind of underutilizing my workforce. So we'll turn this entire area into a dormitory. I feel like they'll be very happy in there together. I'm also going to put some drains in the corners of the room to help soak up the blood. Considering every one of these holds 2 people, that should be a good start. We'll wait till we actually fill some of those up to bother with anything further. We do also need some toilets, so they can share. You know what? I think I might have spotted a small flaw in my prison walls. This one the workers keep walking in and out of. You could drive a bus through. Probably not really good for a secure prison. That's nothing a little fence won't fix, and it's even an outdoor fence. It's perfect. Did that go the right way? We'll put 2 fences. Nope, that didn't work. Is my outdoor area happy now? It seems like it. The workers are all migrating. Everything else suddenly looking pretty good. Now we're just awaiting the prisoners. If there are any prisoners here, could you please raise your hand? It's kind of hard to see amongst all the workers. $200 per day, cost $1,000 initially. Well, there you go. Good luck. What would probably help is some actual guards in our prison. Used to keep your prisoners in check and out of trouble. 1 guard to keep them safe. Total staff, 1,002. Ooh, I think this is our first prisoners. We just keep the bus. They're probably better off right there. Psychologists required to show needs. I don't need a psychologist to tell me that. He's one person in charge of an entire prison. What he needs is a better job. I'm starting to think all these workers are counterproductive. Back-to-back prison buses. This thing's gonna fill up quickly. Ian Nighthawk Hawking. Sentenced to 5 years for assaulting an officer. Ah, joke's on you, idiot. There's only 1 officer here. Rumor is there is actually ground beneath this too, but I haven't seen it in quite some time. Hey, we got our first guy off the bus. Lawrence, congratulations. Not only are you our first prisoner, you're likely to be the first casualty. I'm pretty sure our guard, yep, will be along shortly to escort you into the prison and out of the rain. $47 million, and 3 years later, we actually have a prisoner who's already gotten out of his cell and is making a break for it. A solitary cell? This is for the good prisoners. Now, hopefully I'm understanding this correctly, because I want her to be solitary but not too lonely. I'm hoping I can make everyone kind of have to pass through his cell as they're entering and exiting the prison. There we go. That way he's still punished, but never lonely. Seriously, could my guard take any more time? There's a million prisoners waiting on the road to be brought in. They're not going to do it themselves. Look at these two idiots. Like, figure it out. One of you moves, opens a door, you can both walk through. Oh, now there's a third guy. Fourth guy joining the problem. It's like we said in the last video, if we can't fix stupid, we'll just kind of enable it. We'll just give them multiple doors to get stuck on. Visitors, one family waiting to visit. Prisoners up for parole? I don't think these people understand how my prison works. I get as many very violent, angry people as I possibly can, put them in a very hostile, uncomfortable environment, and give them the biggest battlefield possible. Whoever's left after that, yeah, we can talk about visitors and parole, but until then, I'm gonna need to see a little bit less whining and a little bit more stabbing. They want a staff room? We'll give them a staff room, but I am going to attach it to the dormitory, and they're not going to like that very much. Don't worry though, I'm going to install a staff door, that way the prisoners know they're not supposed to be in there. And the visitor room. Here is the visitor prisoner talking table thing, and what was the other thing? A table? Well, I can just go right there. What did you do to deserve a spot in the dormitory? I don't know what he's doing, but I'm interested. He took him all the way down there just to let him go. Now they're going to race for the door, first one out wins. Do we seriously need to install even more doors? Alright, well, since I don't have 12 hours to wait for Idiot Stick, we're gonna get another 4 guards, bringing our total up to 5. The best part is, I actually have more workers and prisoners trapped in my prison at this point. Oh, no way, did you get one of the good cells? I like how he can just sit there and watch the kitchen workers all day. And wouldn't you know it, he killed 500 people using a golf club in the shape of a dog. Yet, somehow was only sentenced to 2 years for false accounting. As long as we don't let him do the books, everything should be just fine. They let me have control of this schedule. Okay, well, every time is free time. They don't need sleep. They don't need anything. They're just gonna do whatever they want, whenever they want to. Well, I know what I'm gonna be researching. Death row and execution liability. That makes basically executing people easy. Okay, well, in about 24 hours, everyone in my prison is gonna be executed, and that includes the staff. I'm sad that we don't have any stabbies in solitary yet. Luckily, I know a guy who can fix that problem. Now you better learn your lesson. I hope we got them all off the road. Suddenly there's no one here, and I don't know if they made it into the jail or just kind of wandered off into the darkness. I decided to add a little bit of capacity to our prison. Death row has been approved, so we'll get started on that, where you send your prisoners to die. That could be any room in my prison, really. Thanks for overdosing right while I was in the middle of building my execution chamber. Is he overdosed or overdosing? Because there's a difference? I'll be fine. Is it seriously gonna let me add the execution chamber onto the visitation room? I don't even have to put a wall up in between. There is one problem, however, and that is that the chair is facing the wrong way. Oh, it turns out you can't turn it around. Well, we'll just move it a little bit closer to the visitors then. I really hope I get to choose who is executed and why. Henderson here is injured, we might as well put him down. If you guys are gonna be okay in here for a minute, I've got a new project to work on. You know what, they'll be fine. I think we're bringing in new prisoners faster than the old ones are dying anyway. Now, what I'm hoping to do is turn this single cell basically into death row. You might have noticed it's right beside the execution chamber. Well, that's because I want them to be able to see every execution that happens while they're waiting to be themselves executed. And you guys keep it down for like 10 seconds, I'm trying to focus. We'll go ahead and bring in some new guards at this point. They can spawn in the dormitory where 50% of people get murdered. Why can these people not figure out doors? We don't even need walls in our prison, or guards, we just give them doors, no one will get in or out. I've just realized, we've only had one escape so far. Unless you include the dead ones. Now that that's out of the way, I guess we just gotta get lucky enough to get a death row inmate. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to personally charge people for execution myself, though it's basically the same difference as long as they're inside my prison. At this point I feel like we need a morgue more than we need anything. Well, here's the problem. I had my death row set to closed. I definitely want that all the way open. Because as clearly demonstrated, I'm a lot better at killing people than I am at taking care of them. Hey, look what we get tomorrow. Our first present. One death row inmate. Henderson, I'm sorry, but we just don't have the resources to get you fixed up again. But I will give you a sprinkler to keep you entertained. And that thing should have some adequate pressure. Well, there we have it. The parole room can be just part of the execution room, and that way they know what's on the line should they fail. On the brighter side of life, Richard here hasn't had an incident in 3 whole days. This guy made it all the way into the utility room before he died. Maybe we need a janitor more than anything. Apparently we can get the ball rolling on this, so let's go ahead and try that. One look at the dormitory and he's going to be asking for it. Most of the death and stuff seems to happen in this area for some reason. It's about time you came and got him. He's late for his appeals or whatever. Man, the thing's gonna be done before he even gets there. This isn't fair. Wait, does this mean he is gonna die or he isn't? Well, I mean, that's kind of a stupid question. Of course he's gonna die, but is he gonna die by me executing him or just by him being in my prison? One of the chefs is dead? Murdered by prisoner? Well, no kidding. Or escapes. They're starting to find their way out. This place is falling apart. Okay, I'm gonna need everyone to relax for just a minute. So what we're gonna do is throw a few more guards at this situation. Hopefully they live long enough to calm things down, and then we'll get back on track. And we seem to once again have that problem where things are piling up at the door and the workers can't do anything about it because they're dumb. We can't get the dead bodies out and the new bodies in until the stuff is moved. Starved to death? Well, that's what you get for killing all the cooks, you idiot. I think by this point we pretty much have equal parts living, injured, and dead. It's kind of a nice ratio. An incident at another facility has highlighted potential issues with security checks when it comes to family visitation in prisons. I'm not sure I understand the problem. Until the process can be properly reviewed, all visitation must be suspended. As it stands currently, my prison has a few slightly larger issues to deal with. Henderson, that sprinkler is the only thing you have to play with. Why would you break it? You know what? Enough waiting for the next death row inmate. In this prison, execution is mandatory. It's a good thing there's not a real fire because you guys would be useless. Murdered by prison with baton? Well, why'd you give me your baton? I'd ask you to file a complaint, but that would probably be murdered also. Now where was I? Oh yeah, look, a fire. There we go. When you just don't have the patience for an electric chair, you use fire. Not even the warden was safe. It's still the waiting game, but at least I know they're all gonna die at the end of this one. Even the firefighters couldn't make it out alive. Killed by electrocution. He should have known better. He's a firefighter. I like how I have so many workers, they're literally still coming up and cleaning the rubble as it's on fire. Yes, Mayor Idiot, you have failed to remove the visitation rooms. Well, I'm trying. It's not my fault the fire doesn't want to spread very fast. Man, I can't even do fire properly. Okay, good. The new guys are finally on the job. If you just want to go ahead and give that little hose, thank you. You guys may leave, the two of you that are still alive. No need to put out that fire. That one should spread pretty thoroughly. And it's pretty close to a lot of the population, so I like this one better already. That is so much more efficient than that electric chair. I should have started with the kitchen. It's super flammable apparently. Look at these guys. They're trying to get out. Should have used the door, idiots. I wonder what happens if everyone in the prison dies. I guess we'll find out pretty soon. That room burned up quick. Such a big fire, yet still only affects so much of the prison. Yes, Mayor, the visitation room is gone. You have failed to remove the visitation room. Yeah, do you see a visitation room? I know I don't. I'm pretty sure it was right here. Third time's the charm. Power station right there on the corner of everything flammable ever. That's actually restored the power. Not really even sure there's many people left to burn at this point. Just to make sure this is going to spread nice and quick, we're going to spend $86,000 on a wooden floor. What? How did he get in there with Henderson? Well, at least he now has someone to play with. And he's pretty hungry too, so if he manages to catch that little rascal, he's probably going to eat him. I'm thinking this is where most of my current workforce is gone. I think I see part of the problem. The new firefighters can't get in because these trucks are in the way. These trucks are waiting for bodies, which can't be removed because of the active fire.